Okay. This is gonna feel very unnatural to me because I'm not used to talking into a microphone, but this is the first day of me marking my drawing practice journey, learning how to draw. Today I wanted to draw Becca from Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I'm in no way like an experienced artist. I've been drawing for a little while now, on and off, but I never really took it seriously. But I want to start taking it seriously, so that's what I'm doing here. Um, I'm not very good at faces, so I wanted to practice faces. So I drew 4 different Beccas. I'm most proud of the third and fourth ones, but um, this is a sped up version of about an hour's worth of work, I think. I hurt my thumb and I really wanted to play Monster Hunter, but because of the way I like use the joysticks on my controller, it hurt to play the game, so I started drawing instead. And I'm pretty happy that I did, because if I didn't, I would not have drawn these tonight. A few of the things that I wanted to focus on tonight were facial expressions and trying to figure out what goes into different facial expressions. And I'm still developing my own art style, so for now I'm just kind of copying what I see. But eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to make my own characters. And long term, the goal is I want to start drawing out like a comic of one of the D&D campaigns that I've DM'd. I had a party that played Icewind Dale, and I had so much fun playing it that I didn't like the chin there, and I'm gonna come back to regret shortening it later. But yeah, Icewind Dale. I want to draw comics of the party that I DM'd for, because they did some really cool stuff. They were pretty funny. They had cool characters. I liked it. But back to the Becca drawings. This one, the chin was too short. Like I shouldn't just point out the things that I think are wrong with it. Instead, maybe focus on some of the things I could do better, that I like out of it. Things I could stand to work on are hair. Right now, I think hair and just general face shape and features. I couldn't get how I wanted the hair to like finish underneath, right? Because I never really terminated the hair on these. In the fourth one, when I do lines over the rough sketch, I actually found a way that I liked, so I might try more with that coming up. I also, right now, I'm undecided as to whether I like these kind of rough lines that I do on my first sketch, or if I more like the art style after. Because what I tend to do right now is I'll do rough drawing, and then I'll add a layer on top of it. I'll turn down the opacity of the layer that I'm on right now, and I'll just kind of trace over it and try to make nicer lines. But there's like a weird kind of charm to the rough lines, and I can't decide if I like it or not. So I think the next drawings that I do, I will leave it as the rough lines and see what I think. Because right now I'm just in an experimental stage of art. I'm just figuring out what I want my style to be, because I don't want to just copy stuff for forever. And these, I'm actually kind of proud of not tracing them, because when I started up with art again, I was using Krita. There were just a few things I didn't like about it because it felt really complicated, so I moved to Adobe Fresco. But I did a decent amount of tracing to try to figure out body proportions and body shape. So I've gotten okay with that. I still suck at hands and I still suck at feet, but I can get general proportions like arm and leg length right, I think. Torsos maybe need a little bit of work, but I think I'm okay in that department right now. So I'm going to switch the gears to faces and hair. This one that I'm on right now is the one that I was most proud of. I am voicing over this after I finish drawing as well. This is an hour's worth of work sped up to 4 times speed, I think is what I put it at. Eyes. I struggle with eyes. I really like how the eyes looked in Edgerunners, specifically Becca and Lucy's eyes. Because, hang on, let me just look up David's eyes real quick. David Martinez. No, David's eyes were cool. I might do some drawings of David soon then. Maybe that'll be tomorrow. But David's eyes look pretty good. I might try to figure out how I can steal cyberpunk-esque faces for my own style. But the other faces I liked are Owl House. I'm all caught up on that, waiting for the last episode of it. But I really like Owl House faces and some of the expressions that they have. Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra, I really like the faces I see in there as well. So I'm going to be drawing from reference a whole bunch of stuff from those shows and seeing if I can figure out what weird amalgamation of them all go together to find the face that I like. The hair that I just did, it kind of irks me a little bit. I don't like the jagged bottom to it. This is what I was talking about as well, with where I like to do cleaner lines over a less opaque layer, more transparent. This is what I've been doing for a little while now, and I think it looks good, but I want to see if I like the rough lines more next time I draw. I also need to figure out a better way to record. For some reason, when I tried to do a window capture of the program, it just showed white and didn't show anything I was drawing, so I just defaulted to a desktop capture because I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I've also really liked the taper brush. I use a mapping pen, is the brush that's called for the rough lines. It's a really thin pen. And then I use a tapered preset for like the more fine lines that I'm doing right now, because I don't know why, but in my mind it looks more professional. Like it looks like a calligraphy pen. Looks like if I was drawing with a calligraphy pen. After I did these lines as well, I decided I don't want to do coloring right now. Coloring is going to come at a later point, but I decided I want to do this in grayscale. I'll color everything in grayscale. And then I broke my rule and I used a bit of blue. And then after I finished that, I decided to make a background color and I made it red. And then I realized, oh, I messed up a whole bunch of Rebecca's skin colors, because she's like red in a bunch of spots, especially in her eyes. I messed up her eyes big time, but I don't care enough to go back and fix it now. Let's just call this my variant of Rebecca. But I broke my rule of don't color, and I colored a little bit. It's therapeutic, whatever. Here I realized I forgot her eyebrows, and her irises, and her ear, after I color in the pupils. I was also doing all this in a Discord call, listening to it was called Mighty Vibes Chill Tunes to Study and Transcribe Magic 2 from Critical Role, which I'm probably going to draw some Critical Role characters as well. Once I get better at drawing from imagination, I can start just listening to the character descriptions and making something off of it without referencing fan art, maybe. I think that'd be a kind of fun thing to do. Here's where I broke the rule of blue. I used color instead of just grayscale. I also noticed when I was watching this back before recording the voiceover that I have a really bad habit of moving the view around a lot. It's not all sitting in one spot, and that's kind of annoying. So moving forward, I'm going to take my hand off the space bar when I'm drawing and leave it all in one spot. That way it's not all shaking around the screen a whole bunch. There's another thing that I'm excited to talk about that comes up later. I'm I'm doing everything in a flat color right now, just because shading is kind of hard, I've realized. Even though I have the pictures in front of me, it's really hard to get shading right and to pick the color that I like that goes on it. And then I realized, or I remembered, that there's a transparency feature for a whole layer in Adobe Fresco. And shadows are just an absence of light, and all colors together make white light. So a good shadow would be a dark color, like black. If I just color over in full opaque, like 100% just black ink, I color over where I think shadows would be, and then take the whole layer and make it a little bit more transparent. I actually got pretty decent looking shadows. You'll see it in a second. The shadows I put on the 4th Becca specifically, for some reason, make her look kind of high or something. I don't know. It makes her face look really weird, but I'm kind of proud that I thought of that. Again, these aren't like super nice drawings. These are... I started wanting to sketch, and then I felt proud of the sketches, so I moved into what I thought the next stage would be, which was slightly nicer line art. And then I liked the line art, but I thought it looked weird without color, so I started to go in grayscale, and I started to put color on it. And it all just kind of devolved into a point where, you know, it looked like a pretty decent drawing. It's not professional. It's not anything I'd charge money for, because it's just like not a commission level piece of work, I think, but it's a fun recreational drawing. Yeah, so her eyes are the wrong colors. Her jacket, the blue part on the inside of it, like in the collar, that's the wrong color. There's just all sorts of stuff that doesn't look right. Here's what I was talking about, where I give her like the weird clown makeup of the opaque layer for shadows. So everywhere that I'm coloring over right now is going to be a dark area on her face. And I do that to all 4 drawings before I change the transparency. So it looks horrible now, but I committed to it. I had faith. Plus, I was drawing it on a separate layer, as you can see on the right side of my screen. So if it didn't work out, I just delete the layer and it goes back to what it was before I tried that. And then I tried to follow the shadows as close as possible as what I had for the pictures on the left side of my screen. I just Googled Cyberpunk Rebecca before drawing, and I picked out as many different faces as I could for just a decent little bit of drawing time. Just an hour's worth, because it is 11:30 right now, and I do have classes tomorrow. I actually didn't intend to do this tonight. This was on a whim. I decided to record it because I wanted to put my progress on YouTube so I could check back like a year later and see where I'm at. Here I changed how opaque the layer is, and it turns out like actually decent. Like, what happened? Why does it actually look okay? So again, the bottom 2 are the ones I'm most proud of. I don't know if I'm going to do this as a daily thing or what, because this is not taking me very long to edit at all. And as long as I keep the drawings short, I can keep these to like 15-minute videos, which isn't that bad. So we'll see. You can see here as well that I added in some color, some like little peaches and stuff like that, and I added in background color. So we'll see where this goes. Hopefully, the longer I do this, the more improvement I see, and I eventually develop my own art style and can start drawing characters from imagination.